Yo, what is going on YouTube? Chrono here and welcome back to the channel. So we just finished off the headline for December and some mixed feelings. Not the best headline, but nowhere near the worst, to be perfectly honest. There's a couple of things that are doing some heavy lifting as far as the content I'm personally invested in. And those three things are actually pretty massive overall. What we're going to do in today's video is we're going to be going over everything important that we learned from the headline. So we're going over each of the slides, giving my thoughts on them, as well as any extra information that needs to be garnered from what was said during the headline. Chat's also going to chime in here and there as well to help out with that. So if there's anything I missed, they're going to go ahead and say something. We are recording this live over on YouTube and Twitch, as well as Twitter, actually, funny enough. So we're recording this live over on all those platforms, and this will go live on the YouTube channel shortly after. So just keep that in mind. If you're watching over on YouTube, feel free to catch the video afterwards. Even if you are watching on YouTube and you're going to get all this information ahead of time, it'd be nice if you just click on the video, click on like, toss a little comment for the algorithm. I'd appreciate it. Love you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. So I'm going to be just kind of skimming through all of this stuff here. I'm not going to be going anything in particular. So I will say, just as kind of a note, this has probably been like the first headline in a very long time where the first half felt really light. Usually the first half of the headlines, or the first half of the month, is usually super heavy with a bunch of stuff. And then the second half is kind of light with just a couple of things here and there sprinkled out. You can even tell if you actually look at the update information. This time it was kind of flipped, almost like, not really flipped, but kind of balanced a little bit more. There was a lot less going on at the very beginning than I'm usually used to. And there was a little bit more at the end than I'm usually used to. So I'm figuring they kind of balanced it out finally. Maybe they realized that we were starting to see that pattern. So first things first, we have an end of the year revival scratch. We have some popular PSO2 items. They're coming back. So we've got the beast faced, all that good stuff. This is actually only available back in base PSO2 with a specific, what was the word? A specific pack you had to buy, which came with a bunch of other stuff. I actually bought this pack, so we used the beast face for a while. I'm a PSU fan, so we do like PSU stuff. Okay, I'm gonna talk more about the Super Genesis Festival. So we have another set of 10-a-day another set of 10-a-day scratches. So another 100 scratches that you can get. This is really nice for getting more badges. In case you need more badges, or if there's anything in the scratch you want to get, super duper dope, cool stuff. There's also a super item enhancement support campaign. I've said this probably like I've said it till I turn blue at this point. Whenever a new weapon comes out, expect one of these things to show up. It's here. It's alongside of the Super Genesis Festival this time around. So we have 90% success rate, or enhancement success rate, basically it's 100% for great successes on enhancements. Extra 10% on augmentations. So this is a good time to go ahead and augment your gear if you haven't already, or if you plan to. There's an extra 10%, so the RNGing is a little bit less RNG. And there's also half required materials for limit breaking. Hopefully it also counts Meseta. This does say and more, so this might also include Meseta costs of being reduced, but the materials aren't the issue with limit breaking, so fingers crossed this includes Meseta, because like half materials is kind of whatever. Nothing too crazy there. Let's go on to the next slide. So we also have the second half of the Super Genesis Festival with like New Year's decorations and stuff like that. We have the Snome Rappy, the Snome Emperor Rappy, and the Snome Greg Rappy. They didn't specify if he's still going to be in Nameless, so hopefully, fingers crossed, he is there. That's how they decided to continue to do that, but they didn't really show him in Nameless either, so may not be, may just be out in the world, which would kind of suck, but we'll have to see. We have Zandy's new outfit. We also have various stuff you can exchange for the exchange shop, as per usual. If you have points right now, go ahead and use them. You get tons of points all the time. You do not need to worry about saving points. Please just go ahead and spend your points. You'll get more, you'll get a new shop. I'm not sure if these share the same seasonal points as part one. Usually they do, but I wouldn't put yourself in a position that you need to save up points or anything like that. Just go ahead and spend them. We also have a new lineup being added for the End Grinder Exchange as well, which is huge. The End Grinder Exchange was really nice. I mean, it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it wasn't anything bad either. So it's cool. We'll have to see what they're adding in. Hopefully something good. And then of course they mentioned limited time tasks will be added for the seasonal events. They mentioned specifically, with a lot of times when they mention these limited time tasks, they mention limited time tasks plus titles, and those titles including augment transfer passes. Almost every time they talk about it, if you see, limited time tasks and titles, you can almost always assume transfer pass vouchers are going to be included as well. So we also have another revival campaign. So we have the New Year's Remix Line 25. This is including things like Rappy sneakers. The big thing here, honestly, is the preset skill enhancement success rate and substitute level 4s. These are huge. This is basically a guaranteed level 5. You can use this from 1 all the way to 5. I wouldn't use it at 1. It doesn't jump you from 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. It uses 1 every single time, but you can use this to guarantee a fix of 4 to level 5. So that's pretty dope. And we haven't seen the Rappy sneakers come back in a very long time. These are pretty freaking expensive usually. So if you're someone who hasn't gotten them because you've been waiting on something like this to show back up, well, now's your chance. So pretty cool. We also have the, what is this one? This is a rewind scratch. A rewind scratch with AC spec items. It's also going to include preset skill enhancement, success, and substitute for level 4. So again, another one of these, super dope, works the same way, all the best stuff. So love to see it. Very, very happy. Wait, hold on. Am I reading this wrong? And New York rewind 25 features and expect AC pass. Oh yeah, and then also AC support item select. Okay, so it's two. It's the rewind and the AC support item select. The AC support item select has the Anadis, coming back, things like that. This is to be expected. We just got a new weapon. A new weapon means we're getting a new AC support item select. This always happens. I've mentioned it every single time it pops up. Hopefully you guys are realizing that now at this point. The pattern exists. Some patterns are followed, other patterns are random, so pretty solid. And another LTQ. So this LTQ is an 8-man. It's fighting a bunch of giant mutants, and the big hook here is that it's going to include something that's only ever been in Lucille, and that thing is a giant bomb. So bomb trial also included. Pretty cool. Rare drop rate plus 250 being added in on the 12th, and then of course additional limited tasks and titles too. Again, when tasks and titles are talked, go ahead and assume those title rewards also going to include transfer pass vouchers. So jumping ahead, we have the free run collab. Pretty dope collab. They showed off some pretty cool stuff. We have the standees, of course, they give you for free for login bonuses. Some pretty cool art. Then we have the actual scratch itself, showing off outfits for Fear and Fern and Stark. I don't know who did Stark's face, but it's kind of ass comparatively to everyone else's. But it's not the worst in the world, so it's fine. We have 3 camos, 3 outfits. We have some emotes. We have some accessories. We have some stamps. I'm definitely digging Stark stamps. What, no thanks, and 0. Both fantastic. Along with the Mimic stamp as well as the Mimic emote. But the Mimic emote is a scratch count bonus. So keep that in mind. You cannot purchase that. Okay. And then they move on to second half. Getting spoiled a little bit on what's there. All right, cool. So new dual quest extra duel. Now, I know you hear dual quest and like immediately it shudders. Like, don't worry, it did for me too. This isn't a dual quest in the same sort of vein as our previous dual quests where you had specific gear or anything along those lines. It's the gear that you actually have. But you'll be fighting Masquerade, or yeah, that's Ruin Masquerade. Okay, cool. Ruin Masquerader. So this is weird. So it says starting from rank 1 at depth 1, complete each rank to unlock the next. Unlock depth by completing rank 10. So each depth has 10 ranks. So while we get depths 1 to 4, technically you're getting basically stages 1 to 40 at the start, and then we're getting an extra 2 every 2 weeks. So basically every other week, essentially. This is worded very weirdly, and I didn't think that was the case either. I thought it was like depth 1 all the way to depth 4, and then you just did 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they're adding in 2 more all the way to 10. But the way this is worded and the way this is set up, so it's like you start at rank 1, depth 1, and there's 10 ranks per depth. And after you complete rank 10 of that depth, you move on to the next depth. So it's 1 to 10 each time you're going through. And there's supposed to be rewards for completing rank 10 of each depth. Specific rewards. So it'll be pretty dope. It also includes a specific augment, Depnos Scepter, which is required to make the new augments that are being released. We don't know what those augments are, how good they are just yet. So just keep in mind, you're going to need it to go ahead and make new augments. So that's going to be retained from dual quest. It's still going to be like that, that specific item that you need to go ahead and create a new augment. So that's super cool, but nothing to do with the annoying, making another set of gear with specific augments or anything along those lines. That's not being included. So dope. I like to see it. I thought this was only going to be 10 ranks basically, or 10 fights, but it looks like it's 100 essentially. So they're adding in 2 more every other week essentially. So 20 fights every other week. 40 to start with, which is going to be interesting. Oh, and I'm sure some people are curious about this. They specifically did not mention there's anything about him immuning abilities. They said specifically that he's going to get stronger and that you're going to get weaker, like your abilities are going to get weaker. They never mentioned anything about immuning abilities. So that's something that existed in previous Masquerade, where he essentially would become immune to specific abilities, meaning it would lock you out of using specific abilities because he was basically balanced for heroes to fight essentially. But yeah, I digress. Moving on. We also have Refined Form January 25. That is essentially going to be giving us an NGS spec version of the Marine Admiral outfit, along with Dance 28, the Crawl emote, and some pretty cool stuff in the mix here. Oh, this is the mission pass. This is the season 40 mission pass stuff here. This is the scratch count bonus, Dance 28, and of course the spec Admiral outfits. Unfortunately, still no Slick Mechanic, type 1. Very sad. Okay. Also, another set of revivals. So this revivals is going to be an emote revival and a camo revival. So they just show off 2 things here. I know some people were really excited about the Verena emote, Banana Boat coming back, some Phantom emotes, it looks like. We have Ichiban's bat. This is, I believe, a Harmonizer camo, so that's pretty cool. Skulls will be happy about that. We also have Planet Crusher Assault D2. This is essentially MDFD, but the UQ variant of it for 8-man with, you know, no death limit or anything like that. Now, the big thing about this is it's going to drop 12-star rarity weapons. It has, you know, of course, it's going to be rare, of course, from there. We don't know how rare exactly, but the 12-star rarity TWA weapons are going to drop from there. The Augment Capsule Series Denteria Scepter is going to drop from there. So this is to make another new augment. This is to make the other Magia augment. That's neat. I think it's like, I believe it's like Magia Maste, and then there's Magia Gladia something or whatever. There's like Magia GGS, and then Magia, there's Glangigus Maste Magia, and then Gladiusol Magia, I believe. Or Magia, excuse me. So this one's going to be used to make the Glangigus Maste variant. And the thing they mentioned from here, and this is actually really, really big, is the actual, the first one's Magia Hal Finale, my mistake. Okay, thank you. The big thing here in this setup specifically is that it's going to directly drop as well as the Scepter one. So not only can you get the stuff to make the augment, you can also by chance get the actual augment to directly drop from the urgent quest. So definitely high value on doing this. Definitely high value on using, you know, your boosts and things like that during urgents, and then of course getting as much out of the boost afterwards by doing something else too. But yeah, I definitely don't want to skip over urgents. I do like to see this. This is like a shift. They don't normally do these sort of things in urgent quests, so hopefully it's something they continue to do moving forward with newer urgent quests as well. I'm sure the drop rate's super low for it. You're probably not going to get it consistently, but we did see something similar to this happen in previous LTQs, so we'll have to see how they go about this. We also have Snowfield Cleanup Op. Snowfield Cleanup Op is just another LTQ. This one is going to have a lot more emphasis on using your Mars. So massive enemies, kill tons of enemies, blah, 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 blah. It's also going to include additional limited tasks and title rewards. And like I mentioned beforehand, when tasks and title rewards, you know what that means. More vouchers. There's also going to be a rare drop rate boost of 150% starting on the 27th. This is important for something we're going to talk about in just a moment here. We have the new AC Scratch Demonic Elegance. Just looks cool. The motion being added this time around, the weapon motion, is a metal club. Can't say I'm happy about that, but it is what it is. So we have Hanging from Arm, Rollover and Sleep, Infernal Fiend camo, and the demonic themed outfits, as well as Shrine Maiden wear. So pretty cool. I don't think I like, this is up a little too high. If this was like lower down to here, probably would like these pants a lot more, but we'll have to see. So then they move over to a video where the series director, I believe, yes, yeah, series director comes and talks to us and shows us the roadmap. So keep in mind, we talked about this last time. We experienced this last time. Hopefully people understand this time around, because this was a huge issue last time they showed the roadmap. Everyone, and even including some content creators, were like, oh, well, roadmap looks really dead. This is really sad, so on and so forth. This is a framework. This is a skeleton of things that they basically have set up and when they want them to come out versus when they are going to be coming out. This is subject to change. This is not everything, but this is what they currently have confirmed for us. So we have our usual stuff that they talked about already. So we've already talked about all this stuff. We're going to skip over this here. In February, we have the spring 2025, but along with the urgent quest Dark Falls Vael, which we're going to talk about that in a moment here too. The Seal Exploration is going to be updated. Our limited time quests being added in. There were 3 of those. And there are new relay quests being added to the game, 7 of them apparently over this course of time. So we're not sure how that's going to work out. The relay quests are being added to the game. That's super cool. I don't know what that's going to mean. Only downside of the relay quest from my scene is they said they're going to be changing every other day. I really wish they would continue to go back to changing things per run and not per day versus every other day, but we'll have to see what the relay quests actually are. Maybe it works for that quest type. We'll have to see. Extra dual quest update. Oh yeah, that's it. I think that's the extra dual quest. Yeah, okay. So that's the extra dual quest update. Okay, yeah, that's just adding more. And then there's a story update here in February to go along with Vael. Hunter class expansions happening here. We're going to level 100 here as well. And additional Dark Falls, or the addition of Dark Falls Vael. Cool stuff. New scratch ticket campaign. Interesting. An anime based on a light novel, which we know what that is now. We'll talk about that in a moment. In April, we have NGS 4th Anniversary Alpha Super Origin Festival. We have a new standing quest. This is going to be a new standing quest added in, so that's going to be interesting. We'll have to see what that is. Probably like maybe the 4-man version of Vael. I imagine. Yeah. Is that what we're thinking, chat? Probably, yeah. LTQs, 5 of those. We'll have to see. Braver expansion happening in April. They already confirmed that. Braver's, hopefully Bo gets damage. Give Bo damage. Buff Bo for the love of God. And then give Braver like some utility, fix some of the weird, or give Katana some utility, fix some of the weird, you know, shenanigans that happen with like dropping to the ground and losing certain things and all that good stuff. Like, yeah. And give Katana a little, Katana needs a little bit of damage too, just a bit. Just give them something to do whenever a target is knocked down, okay? Give them some high investment, like hyper damage they can do while a target is down. That way they actually have some down damage, for the love of God. Free SG scratch ticket item update, interesting. And then anime based on a light novel. So there's 2 of these. We know what this one is. We don't know what this one is yet though. And then June to July. So in June and July, there's a field update. This is kind of big. They mentioned there's all hands on deck for this field update, where essentially something, we haven't had a field update effectively since Stia. So this is pretty big. We don't know what this is just yet, but it's just field update for right now. 3 LTQs, limited time urgent, and high difficulty standing party quest. Standing party quest. Interesting. Okay, cool. New enemies, probably to go with the field update. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. I mean, people are thinking we're going to space. They showed off the Vael fight. It is in outer space, to be perfectly honest. So we'll have to see how that works out. I'm happy. New enemies, and then SEGA title collab with sci-fi fantasy toy line. SEGA title collab. Finally, our Sonic collab. Maybe. PSU collab. Possibly. Only time will tell. And then August onward. So usually this is kind of where it falls off. Like this is what we usually get. We would get January to July because that's kind of like the 6 months. They mentioned that we're going to start seeing more often, right? Because they want to show off more of what's going on, and they've kept us in the dark consistently. So they show off a little bit so far, what we have in August onward. So we've got PSO2 13th Anniversary Super Fantasy Festival as usual. We have a new limited time urgent quest. We have new limited time quests, another story update. So the story updates are separated here, but they didn't mention that there's a story update in here as well. So it's not going to be super far. There's going to be story updates here, and they're supposed to be doing more mini episodes again. So expect to see those more often. We have 2 confirmed story updates here, and there's supposed to be something in here as well with the field update. So expect to see something here in February, March, in June, July, and in August onward. Also a new action system. No clue what this is. Last time we got a new action system, it was Mars. So no freaking clue what that's supposed to be. And new enemies. I'm thinking it has to do with the story update, has to do with the field update. This whole thing here is, it's all very, very new. This is an uncharted territory. We don't know what this is supposed to be at all. So this is where speculation can run wild. Feel free to speculate, but there's nothing guaranteed. So just keep that in mind as far as what we're looking at here when it comes down to the roadmap. And of course, this is a framework. Expect to see more in between, right? Like you're going to see more things mixed in. You're going to see collabs. You're going to see different types of quests, updates, balance patches, all kinds of things. So again, don't take this with a grain of salt. You're going to see more mixed in here. They talk about this for a while. They mentioned it again because they're going to tell us August onwards. They show us a video. I'm going to show certain clips of the video. So really cool thing. Do you guys want to just watch the video, chat? Do we just want to watch it here? We'll let it run, and I'll talk about what I see in here really quick. I'd recommend watching this on your own. But yeah. So this is interesting to me right here, really quick. Can we go back, please? A lord who rules over the Dark Falls class Starless. Not the lord, a lord. That's all I'm saying. A torrent of stellar extinction once more brings ruin to the world. More like the universe, dude. But yeah, so we're fighting on a giant platform, very obviously in outer space. You can see some stuff back there. I'm trying to see if I can see it. I saw it like for a brief moment last time. A lot of abilities going off, huge hits. That is 110% Clarissa back here. Pretty much any sort of apprehension I had about that beforehand is gone. That's definitely Clarissa. But the big thing here is there's a phase where we fight Vael in the air, and we're just fighting on our Mars consistently. This is huge. This is massive. We have needed something like this. We have needed something like this to showcase Mars realistically. This reminds me of things like AS Vega, AS in general, when we're fighting some of the bigger bosses in outer space, like things like that. This is huge. So we're basically kind of up in the rafters above Nameless City. Like we're pretty up high in Nameless City. Like, you know, that opening that you see there usually. So pretty dope. Yeah, so good looking fight. It's going to be in February. So dope. Really excited to see that. Operation report had some pretty dumb questions, unfortunately. Not the worst, unfortunately. I was kind of sad on this one. It'd be possible to make it so we're able to start in our own creative spaces on login. This would be really cool if you could. TLDR, no. The TLDR was no, we can't. So yeah. Plans to increase the number of shop items you can put up for sale in the personal shops. This is not the problem with shops. The problem with shops is there's no free to play slots. Definitely give free to play 3 to 5 slots. Honestly, that'd be more important than giving us even more slots. But they're increasing it to 50 was the TLDR here. And line strike casual matches are going to all chip matchmaking TLDR. They show off the festival that's going on, and as you can see here, that rare drop rate boost that I mentioned beforehand, actually you can't see it because my big ass head is in the way, is going to overlap with Ultra PSO2 day buffs. So Ultra PSO2 day is going to be very, very juiced with buffs. So definitely take advantage of that when it comes up, but keep in mind it's RDR, and RDR is not a guarantee. RDR is supposed to help you, but it doesn't always. But it's also a lie. So good luck, guys. But there's a lot of overlap with PSO2 day along with rare drop rate. So just keep that in mind. They're doing this kind of on purpose. So take advantage of it as you can. The light novel collab is Index 3. So it's gonna be super cool. I personally would have preferred Accelerator. Hopefully I get an Accelerator outfit. I'm not sure that's gonna be the case. Probably will likely see like an Index outfit, likely see Toma outfit, and likely see Railgun's outfit, and that's probably it. But we're getting Index next as our next collab, and that's about it. Next NGS headline is going to be on the 28th. We're back to having these on Tuesdays. So yeah, overall, I personally gave the headline. I'm actually gonna pull up my Twitter post of it. First time in a long time, the first half of a month has felt super light. Masq fight is doing some heavy lifting along with the roadmap. In the Vael fight, the roadmap looked a bit light too, as per usual. But as always, these are a framework, not everything we'll get. So there's a ton missing from here. 6 out of 10. Everything outside of the roadmap, Masquerade and Vael fight were pretty mid. So those 3 things are doing some heavy lifting. But what they bring shows a very obvious shift towards our future, and they're pretty big. These are some pretty massive changes. These are pretty huge. The Masquerade fight is awesome to see. We'll hope to see more like this because we have things like Solo Sodom that still existed and things like that. So that's super cool. The roadmap, I do like to see more from the roadmap. They mentioned specifically with roadmaps that they're going to be giving more information ahead of time. They mentioned that they apologize that, you know, usually they keep us waiting a lot for a lot of this information. They want to start providing more info earlier. So expect to see more of it, whether it be in headlines, whether it be on the YouTube channels. So if you're not subbed to their YouTube, I highly recommend going ahead and subbing to the YouTube. I'll try to leave links in the video description, or I'll try to say that and then Cry will do it, to the official PSO2 YouTube as well as the JP YouTube. So just make sure you're following those. It'll be super helpful. Or, you know, of course you can just sub to the channel here. Though you keep up with all your information. I can just tell you ahead of time, make your life easy, right? But that's pretty much it. All in all, 6 out of 10. I felt like that was pretty fair. Everything else is kind of mid. Those 3 things are pretty big. I really kind of wanted to give this a 7 out of 10, to be honest, but I wanted to be a bit more realistic. 7 out of 10 felt like I was trying to push a little too heavy because I personally really like Masquerade in the Vael fight from what I've seen. But if you're not a big fan of those 2 things, it just plummets off a cliff as far as what we see here. So for the average player, if you're not into more difficult stuff, you really don't care all that much about these things. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed the video. So if you want to keep up with more. As always, thank you to the channel members. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, my friends. Peace out.